what makes us special, what's making TN special, and how are we sustaining this lead all these years. So I wanted to just talk about 2-3 things. I just jotted this down on the flight, so I don't know if it's going to be coherent, but this is something which I always wanted to say. Well, I think it's the beautiful dance of industry, institution, and the policymakers. And I think all of that was, of course, possible because of the impetus on education itself, brought in by the Dravidian principle, Dravidian model of government. That's what we call it today. It's all about inclusive polity. It's all about inclusivity and distributed growth. Shankar was very kind enough to point out that that's something which he has also noted has given in Tamil Nadu a big growth trajectory, inclusive and distributed growth in a big way, because our Chief Minister through M.K. Stalin Avargal never asks about investment numbers. It's always about jobs for him and for me too, and where these jobs are being created. So on those lines, I think it's the dance between industry, institution, and then the policymakers itself. So I'm going to talk about how industry, why industry? We have Sanmar on stage here, TVS, again, the Murugappa group, all these homegrown giants who built this amazing state and the country. I mean, when I say state, whenever somebody builds Tamil Nadu, they're automatically building India in a very big way. In a very big way. There's a big X factor there. Not just Maharashtra. Maharashtra comes close to us. Of course, I won't accept that they're big, but I think Maharashtra comes close to us. We have to give them that credit. But then the rest of them just don't compare, right? And that's what I've been saying. And I must invite the Niti Aayog, the president, the CEO, sorry, who's come here 7 times. I don't know why he had to come secretly. And when it comes to industry, the union and the state works together. So let him be very clear about that, and I would definitely love to meet him. In fact, we've had several discussions with Niti Aayog also. Not that we agree that Niti Aayog has highly advanced advice to give us, because we are one of the most advanced states, and we advise rest of the country and rest of the states, including Invest India, who are trying to learn from us consistently. But yeah, as I keep saying, we don't share much because we want to keep that competitive edge. So as I said, so industry, we have had local grown, homegrown talent. They have learned from their experience, they've learned from all over the world, and they've brought that tech home. Right? They brought that tech home and they relied on our talent. And then there's institutions, the Tyagaraja, the PSGs and whatnot, and the Aragappas. So all these amazing institutions. Now what happened there was an amazing dance between the industry and institution. Both of them tangoed together, and we got more knowledge out of that. And then the best of talents, and the best of talents, especially during the 70s and the the late 90s, I think was one of the best time for churning out of talents, especially which went into global research. So that again is something which I'm extremely proud of, especially the way how through the Aragappa University, and look at what the Anna University, the land that the phenom has given, that itself is worth lakhs of crores now. That is the kind of people we had. I was in Etraj recently. College recently. Again, what through Etraj Avargal did way back then to educate women in Tamil Nadu. That is something special. So all of this is special. So why is Tamil Nadu growing? Industry, institution, and then comes policy. Policy making, as my friend here also very nicely underlined. I think Ms. Dugar also spoke about policy, how policy continuity works. That's a very nice point, because that is something which I keep talking about. So whenever I speak, wherever I go for Tamil Nadu, I'm also speaking for India. And I said, this is the only state where there is policy continuity. Now, policy continuity is key. You can't have regime changes and industry trying to match that regime every now and then, every 5 years. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And this is a state, as people of the state, as industry, as the state itself, as government, as administrators, all of us understand this. All of us understand that if you're going to mess up one brick, if you're going to remove one brick here, everybody's going to collapse. And the best part is, the people understand. the people of Tamil Nadu understand that policy continuity matters for jobs to be sustained. And that is what I think is the biggest plus for Tamil Nadu. And we, as the DMK, as the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam and its leader through MK Stalin Avargal, who is today the #1 Chief Minister in India, has also ensured that every single MOU that was signed during the last regime, and unfortunately they didn't convert many, but we put that effort. We put that effort also to make sure that their MOU also gets converted. So that is something which in every other state in India must emulate, and there's so much to learn from Tamil Nadu. And as far as politicians is concerned, I think we all know every large leader from different parties has always had respect. Has always had respect for the opposition and always had respect for the ideology that they think is important for them. I think this respect is what has carried the level of polity that you see in Tamil Nadu, and that as a result gives you good policy, right? If you have good policy makers, if you have good lawmakers who understand industry, who know that industry needs this institution and this talent to come forth in the next 4, 5, 6 years or 10 years down the line. Some have even looked up past a decade, like phenoms like Kalinger has looked past a decade, looked past several decades in fact. In 70s he introduced computers. He introduced computers and the uses in the textbook society in the 70s. Can you imagine that? So some people like that who look beyond, who have that capacity, and most importantly, administrators or officers who in several cases, I'm being very open, in several cases are much more educated than the policymakers, but they understand the Constitution of India. They understand the Constitution of India, which says this is for the people. The people have chosen these lawmakers, they trust them, so you better fall in line. Right? You have the capacity, you can tell them that this is right, this is your view, but end of the day, the policy maker chooses what is right for the people. And then that's when you get new welfare measures and new schemes coming out every now and then. By the way, I love your scheme. I love the Udayam scheme for many reasons. So, this is how things come out, right? So this is when industry, when institution and the policymaker, all of us tango together in the interest of the state, in the larger interest of the nation, that is when you get policy continuity, good policy to begin with, and a focus on needed talent way ahead of time. So I think when industry is going, now industry is moving at breakneck speed, 4.0, we're already talking about 5.0, and when 4.0 is coming up, the talent for 4.0 is also being prepared by the government. Look at the amazing work at Nan Mudalan, which is the Skill Development Corporation of Tamil Nadu. They're doing a fantastic job. Under the Deputy Chief Minister through Udayanidhi Stalin Avargal, they are connecting with industry, learning what you need, listening to you, in some cases getting course material from you, and then feeding that up into the system, making sure that when industry is ready with their factory, there comes the talent which is best suited for that factory. And as we speak, Tamil Nadu, ladies and gentlemen, is the capital of everything. It's the capital of everything that you can think of. But end of the day, the most important thing is we are the talent capital of India. And being the talent capital of India. And I think being the talent capital of India is what makes this the most special state in India. So my request for you today is to engage in dialogue, in sustained, continuous dialogue with the government. Trust your lawmakers. There are a few people who can actually understand industry nowadays. There have been many in the past too, and this entire system of policy making is changing in Tamil Nadu. We're getting in more informed, more erudite people at the top, and I think it's time industry steps forward and says, "Illalappa, engappa edukuppa arasiyal ingita poi pesikittu adella thukku varama vechittu neenga you should start trusting in good policy makers and open up to them so that we know what we are doing is right, and if we need to course correct, we course correct ahead of time with industry in focus. So traditionally, we've been leaders in many sectors. I'll quickly wrap up. We've been leaders in many sectors: auto components, electronics, footwear, everything else. But then I think the core needs to shift a little bit. We're good with auto components. Let's do more with EV, and the way with which EV was stabilizing a bit over the last 5-6 years, and now it's stabilized, and there's a little bit of a tweaking in the tech. So we need to be abreast with that. And then comes drones. Now UAVs are everywhere. It's going to be really big. Today I'm just coming out of a meeting with the Honorable Defense Minister of India, Honorable Rajnath Singh ji, and it was a fantastic meeting. It was a very humble, down to earth, beautiful man. And I told him about the AeroDefCon that's coming up. We have the AeroDefCon 2025 coming up on the 7th, 8th and 9th of next month at the Chennai Trade Center. So this is an opportunity for me to invite all of you to the AeroDefCon. It's going to be more of B2B and learning more about the aerospace and defense sector itself. And unlike most of you thinking, aerospace and defense are romba high tech, romba appalam illa, there's so much to do in it. There's so much to do in it. You've conquered the auto sector. You've conquered the electronic sector. I don't think there's anything that as Tamil Nadu industry that we can't do. This is what I keep telling the world. I keep telling everyone that you can ask us to do anything on the HSN code. So, and we can do it. We're probably doing it already. We're probably doing everything on the HSN code. That's why I want to do this industry museum in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai very soon. Every single product is going to be showcased, and our capabilities. We need to showcase our capabilities. நம்மளை பற்றி பேசுறதே இல்லை எப்பவுமே. வெளிலேருந்து வெள்ளக்காரங்க யாராவது வந்துட்டா அவங்கள தூக்கி கொண்டாடிட்டு இருக்காமே தவிர நம்ம ஆளுங்களோட கெப்பாசிட்டி, நம்ம ஆளுங்களோட எவ்வளவோ இன்னேட் குவாலிட்டிஸ், அதை ஏன் கொண்டாடுற மாட்டோம்னு தெரியல. ஆனால் அதை கொண்டாடியே தீரணும். நம்ம ஆளுங்க நம்ம கொண்டாடிட்டு வேற யார் கொண்டாடுவான்ற மாதிரி we have to start doing that because of the talent, because of the amazing work that our people are doing. Allison Transmission ஒரு கதை 2-3 இடத்துல சொல்லியிருக்காது. I'll just quickly tell you that Allison Transmission during COVID could not find a part. They had to stop the entire production. வேற வழி இல்லாமல் தேடி ஜெர்மனிலேருந்து வர முடியல. So they went local. They said இது முடியுமா பார்க்கலாம் அப்படின்னு போனாங்க. So a 2K plus product, somewhere around that range, dollars per piece, they made it for about 10% of the cost. 10% of the cost, and at least 2-3 times better. And they were stunned. And that is when they started localizing. So till then, they didn't know. They didn't know that it was capable, it was possible in Tamil Nadu. So that is something which I want to correct. This is what the Honorable Chief Minister wants to correct. So as I said, our strengths are auto. We want to go into EVs, now drones, and shipbuilding. We're picking up in a big way. Shipbuilding, shipyards, two big ones are coming up in Thoothukudi, and we want to open up many of our other new ports to shipbuilding, shipyards itself. So that is something which you're working on. That is very important. There's loads to do there. Building a ship is like building a small colony with furniture, with everything else in it. So it in itself is an ecosystem that's being built as we speak. I've been repeating this everywhere. Technical textiles is the way to go for textiles. Don't get stuck in this loop. Go into technical textiles, and all the textile manufacturers, garment manufacturers, decentralize yourself from Tirupur. The entire labor issue will be sorted. We're giving you Sipcot Tech Parks all over Tamil Nadu, just like we did with Neo Tidal. Now for IT, if it is Neo Tidal, it's going to be Sipcot Tech Parks for the textile industry. We're bringing them everywhere. The first one is coming in a very beautiful constituency. It's one of the best constituency in Tamil Nadu. It's called Mannargudi. I think I even know the MLA. So it's the first one is coming. The second one is probably coming in Nagai. We're bringing one to Ramanathapuram. So we really want to engage with Ramanathapuram itself, industrialize it, taking one to Tenkasi if possible. So these are things that we are learning and seeing, that there is capability, there is talent, there is labor, which is going to be cheap. So it's going to help you. And as government, for us to take labor, take jobs to those corners of Tamil Nadu helps. So this is something which we are working on. In the textile sector, as I said, technical textiles, And then footwear, we were doing leather all while. Now we're going to non-leather footwear. And non-leather footwear, there's so much to do. There's so many components. Almost 42 components go into a shoe. Adhesive for that shoe, and the cloth for that shoe is technical textile again. So you see the loop. The entire loop can be managed by us, and then electronics go into PCBs, flexi PCBs, camera modules, go into stuff like that. And this is why we as soon as the Union government announced a component scheme, the government of Tamil Nadu, under the Chief Minister through M.K. Stalin has announced a matching grant scheme, which will help you even further to go into the component ecosystem. That is something which we really want you to work. Now, giants like Murata have already come. They're making MLCCs which are like that much. They're like 3 lakh MLCCs in just inside the palm of my hand. It was amazing to see. These are things that we actually should break into. And finally, semiconductors. Very, very key. I would love for Shankar to talk to his friends. I'm sure he knows who are also talking to some people in Taiwan and elsewhere to bring in another fab. I don't want that also to be taken elsewhere from Delhi. So I would rather not name it. So if that comes through, or more so in the fabless area, design area. So semiconductor design, we need to be more involved. That is something which I'm extremely keen on. And the cleaning space. There's a cleaning space which is extremely key. Special coating and cleaning in semiconductors. These are all new spaces that you can engage in. Probably some of you have that strength in different tech, in different sectors, but it will just shift to this in a good way, and you'll probably get into all these new ones. So finally, I just want you to look at R&D. R&D is something which we are very, very keen on. I went to the Singapore University of Tech Tech and Design, SUTD. They're paying 6,000. They're giving industry is giving problem statement to the students, and it's also paying $6,000 to the students. And kids are playing with prototypes everywhere. And that is what we want to see in places like Anna University and other universities and amazing colleges like PSG and other colleges in Banari and other colleges in Coimbatore or in Madurai in Tyagaraja. So these are things that we want to see. As a government, we are ready to get this done. This is key. I think unboxing the minds of youngsters is key to unlocking the potential of Tamil Nadu's future. This, I think, ladies and gentlemen, will be my parting request. So to unbox the young minds in Tamil Nadu, to unlock the future of Tamil Nadu's industry, I urge you all to collaborate with the government of Tamil Nadu and the Dravidian model of inclusive politics. Dravidian model 2.0 will do just that. Nandri, Vanakkam.